Hi, I just wanted to meet today and talk a little bit about what the plan was or what my ideas behind creating a Buddhist intentional community. I am a longtime Buddhist. I've been practicing Buddhist meditation for at least 20 years, maybe even 25 years. I have gone on multiple long retreats and I've had multiple sanghas, mainly in New York City, but also when I've been traveling abroad in Vietnam, Thailand, wherever I've been. And I'm nomadic now, and I find I really miss sangha. And sometimes it's better than others. Sometimes I can find it, and sometimes I can't. And but my practice is better when I have a sangha and people to practice with. And when I'm left to my own devices, I kind of forget, and then it's 10 o'clock at night, and then I mean I could meditate then, but I'm falling asleep or whatever. So I thought it would be great to have like a community of people in which we live in close proximity, and we practice together morning and evening in a Buddhist tradition, but kind of a non-denominational kind of a tradition. But also, I mean, people don't have to be Buddhist. But and so I thought it would be great to have like a community. And when I was I travel a lot, and sometimes I see property that would be perfect for it. And one point I had seen one that was like an old resort that was kind of a little rundown, but they had like I don't know 20 rooms, and then they had this like meeting hall that would be perfect for a meditation space that also had like kind of a industrial kitchen, like a small industrial kitchen. I thought, well, that would be perfect. Anyway, it started me thinking that maybe I should really look into doing something like this. So the idea is that it would not be a retreat center. It wouldn't be something that you'd come for a week or a month or a day or a weekend. It would be people would come together and live. And so there's like this whole movement of maybe not you're aware of, but like intentional communities where people are sort of sharing resources or a shared vision of some sort. I think back in the day we would refer to them as communes or something like that. The terminology changes. And in more contemporary innovations or iterations, it's like a neighborhood maybe, and people all have their separate places. And so I'm kind of envisioning something where everyone has their own private space, but then there's also shared space. And what that exactly looks like is going to depend upon what's available. And so it could be like like a small hotel or something where we would have a shared kitchen and and a meditation hall, but then everybody would have their own space that would be private, very private. Or it could be that everybody has an actual apartment, or maybe it could even be like tiny houses. I am not envisioning anything in which it would be like full-on houses. Part of my interest in doing this is at one point I had come across a Buddhist retirement community, I think up in California, but the buy-in price was like almost $1 million. And to me that I don't know, like I'm not quite understanding what that's about. So I really want it to be sort of modest and like minimalist living. But we also, I mean, we share time together, but the crux of it is really practice. And depending upon where we are, maybe we could get in like Dharma teachers to come in and teach us things, or maybe we could have an extra space so that they could come through and stay for some period of time. But again, that's kind of dependent upon what it would look like. So in some places there are like these properties, like an old hotel or whatever, to purchase or rent, or property and then make some tiny houses. My idea, though, really is to keep the prices very as low as possible. And I'm envisioning that maybe like $800 a month would be the rent. I mean, I don't know, it wouldn't necessarily be structured as rent, but then it would be $800 a month, so it'd be affordable to most people, because the idea again is simple living and and focusing on Buddhism and Buddhist practice, meditations, and even and whatever else comes along with that, and living in a way that supports our practice. So I'm actually thinking that will probably be somewhere abroad. It could be Thailand. Thailand has a great benefit that it's already a Buddhist country, so there'd be a lot of infrastructure for it. There'd be a lot of Dharma teachers or meditation teachers. People could go on retreat if they wanted to. So Thailand's a thing, and then and one of the other factors, of course, is can people get long-term visas or become residents or something. So Thailand's a possibility. A couple other places I'm looking at are Guatemala and Colombia. I mean, really, the sky's the limit, but really, it's all about kind of visas. And some countries, the ability to get a visa, the income you have to have is increasing. People would have to have their own source of income, whether they're working online or retired and have Social Security or a pension. But the idea is that we're not going to be sharing income, but we're going to be sharing resources of sorts, and we're going to be sharing our lives and our practices together. So I'm really looking to find some people who are interested in doing that, and we can start to look at properties. I mean, it's possible I may start this without people being interested, but I'm not so sure, of the idea of build it and they will come. So so there's a lot of variables, but if you're interested, absolutely, ask me questions, contact me, and let me know what your concerns are and what your interest is. And then maybe if we can get a few people together, not that there's like any permanent commitment, like you must see this through, but if we had enough momentum, then we could start to figure out what some of the logistics and things. It certainly would be easier to have people with me doing this, but it would also be that I don't want to be like one person's vision. I want it to be a community's vision, because I believe it will survive longer if it's a community vision and not just one person's. And so how it would be structured financially, it might start out to be like just a straight up rental kind of a situation. But over time, at some point, I want people to have shared ownership, whatever that looks like. And again, that would kind of depend upon the country and the availability of property, and could we own or could we rent? Again, please reach out, ask me questions. Even if you're not even that interested, I'd be totally interested to hear what people would be thinking about, like, why would you want to do that? Or what's this about, or whatever, because, I kind of have a vision in my head that I'm not entirely sure that I am really communicating clearly. So anyway, I look forward to hearing from you, and please feel free to forward this idea. I'm on Facebook and IC.org, internationalcommunities.org. And please feel free to forward that or contact me. Thank you so much. Thanks for listening, and look forward to hearing from you if you choose to do that.